Hey, what's up, guys? Codell here, and welcome back to another episode of Father's Gospel Podcast. Today, I'm going to try to I'm going to try to share a little bit of my backstory and how I ended up doing all this, pursuing equal shared parenting, contacting legislatures, doing the podcast, all this stuff. So let's get into it, man. So, all right. Back in 2018, I had my son, right? And I was there for the whole pregnancy. I was there for the birth of my child. Spent 3 days in the hospital with him, all that good stuff, right? Well, I didn't know that there was a no contact order that was in place at that time between me and my ex. Even though me and my ex were having open communication, there's tons of Facebook messages and text messages that I have to this day where we're communicating, her making sure that I'm going to be there at the hospital for the birth of our son, discussing buying baby clothes, all that good stuff, right? So again, when all this was going on, she had a no contact order put in place against me. I didn't know about it. And I was there for the birth, had to leave after the birth, had to go work, make money. We had already split at that time. And after the birth of my son, our son, we were texting and we agreed on, a time for me to come spend time with our son, come pick him up, right? Well, I didn't know that she had the cops waiting to arrest me. I didn't know that there was a no contact order in place. I was never served the no contact order, and I do have proof of it. I have a signed letter from the sheriff who the police claimed they contacted to serve me. I have a signed letter from that sheriff confirming that this police department never contacted the sheriff's office to serve me this no contact order. So I was completely unaware of this no contact order. Meantime, me and my ex were texting back and forth, right? Discussing what's going on with her son, setting up time. So I'm thinking everything's good. So me and my mom were driving. I'm excited. I'm like, man, I haven't got to see my son a week. That's a long freaking time, right? I show up, cops are waiting. They arrest me for violating the no contact order that I had no idea about. So I end up spending a half day in jail. They try to give me a plea bargain. I choose to take his trial. This is in freaking Washington County, which is in the Portland, Oregon area. So yeah, good luck with me winning that case, right? In court, we prove I was never served the no contact order. In court, we prove that there was no evidence of any type of physical abuse ever, but I'm still found guilty. Complete, mishandling of justice, right? So I get a little misdemeanor. And meanwhile, through this whole court process, I finally find out my son's not even in the same state I'm in. Like after going to trial, he's officially in Washington, 500 miles away. So I spend the next year saving up money so I can move to Spokane County because that's where my son was living. So that's what I do. I end up moving to Spokane County. First week, 2 weeks I'm living in Spokane County, I get visitation set up. I start seeing my son every week. Then 2 months of me living in Washington, these courts here in Spokane County allow my son to be moved another 400 miles away across the state to King County. And they cut off all my contact. Meanwhile, I'm freshly moved up here, right? I've I've got a little money saved, but I'm still trying to find a place I can sign a long-term lease. So I've got no attorney at the time. I'm having to represent myself in court. I'm only living up here a month or two. I'm freaking on the precipice of becoming homeless because I don't have a definite place to live. And then I'm having to deal with these courts trying to take my son another 400 miles away when I just spent a year and a half saving up money so I could be with him. And they did it. They freaking did it. The level of depression and sadness I hit was insane. And I was already dealing with, trying not to be depressed because, again, I'm already not seeing my son. And so not only do the courts allow my son to be moved another 400 miles away, I'm also told I cannot be around my son unless I take the COVID vaccine or wear a mask or take their COVID tests. And we all just saw what happened with Dr. Fauci. And I was against it from the start. And this pisses me off because I remember when the COVID lockdown started, the first thing I told my mom, I said, this is going to be used against me in the courts. This is going to be weaponized to keep me away from my son. I called it. I knew it was going to be weaponized. Why? Because I'm on the left coast. I'm here in between Oregon and Washington. Our states are ran. They're not even ran by Democrats. They're ran by freaking communists. And so they weaponized it. New parenting plan kicked in. I got to spend thousands of dollars on new classes. I got to jump through all these loops. They're not even telling me where to go take these classes. I got to do the classes. I got to take mental health evaluation. I got to take a drug evaluation, even though I have no history of drug abuse. It's insane. And so I'm getting hit with all this. Meanwhile, they're not telling me what places are court approved and what places are not. So first 2 years trying to untangle this new parenting plan, I go take these parenting classes and I find out that they're not accepted by the court. Wasted 2 freaking years. 2 years. Finally found some. Took another 2 years and thousands of dollars of classes. And I finally just untangled that web. And so in grand total, my son is 8 years old now. And in grand total, I've maybe gotten to see my son a total of 30 days out of his 8-year life. It's mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. Meanwhile, during that 8 years, I've had CPS thrown at me in 2 different states, been cleared in both states of the false accusations of child abuse, because I'm not a child abuser, obviously. And then I'm living in a state where not only are they psychopaths with the COVID lockdowns, but they're literally trying to clamp down on parental rights in every single way they can. And I look around and I go, hello, Washingtonians, Oregonians, Americans, do you not see everything crumbling around you? Are we just going to do the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil? La, 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 I don't hear you. Is this what we're doing? Because this is how I feel. This is how I feel. I mean, I called bullshit from the start with COVID. Thousands of doctors around the world tried to tell the American people that COVID was bullshit. But most people, even the ones that didn't fully buy into it, still bought into it just enough to accept lockdowns for at least a short period of time, forced vaccinations, all that bullshit, all that bullshit. And the family courts, man, I mean, they're just out of control. And this is not a new issue. They've been out of control for decades. I've got moms and dads throughout this whole entire state that are not getting to see their kids because of hearsay, because the other parent and the attorney on the opposite side points the finger and goes, that parent is an abuser, but they don't show any evidence. And then the court accepts the finger pointing and goes, you know what, for the safety of the child, just to be cautious, the parent on the other side is not allowed to be around their child until the following has been done. And then once that's done, they must do supervised visits. And they have an incentive to keep this endless cycle going. Think how much money these attorneys are able to generate from their clients. And then the state itself, for the parents that can't afford an attorney, but somehow still get a state subsidized attorney, the state loves that because they can milk the taxpayers. So they just love to keep this conflict going. And they love to make sure that the parents do not have equal access to their children. Because if they do, the state cannot enforce child support. And they sure as hell do not want to give that up. For every dollar of child support they collect, the federal government matches them 66 cents for every dollar they collect. And that's 66 cents that they're stealing from the American people. That's taxpayer money. The government doesn't make money. The government takes money and spends it. So think about that. They don't want this system to change. They want men and women at their freaking throats. And me and my son and millions upon millions of other families out there have all experienced the same shit, just a slightly different version of it. But it's the same story over and over. My story's not special. It's not uncommon. My story is unfortunately the norm in America's family courts. So we've got to come together. We have got to shut this down. And we have to get our laws right. And we have to look at holding those accountable who need to be held accountable. God bless. And please, I encourage all of you to reach out to me. If you're here in Washington State, I've got an incredible team of 13 plus moms and dads, and we are all emailing our legislatures, and we have already had multiple meetings. So join our team and let's send a loud and clear message to our state politicians, our state representatives, that we support equal shared parenting, that we demand our parental rights are respected and protected. I love you guys, and let me know your thoughts. Till next time, I'm out. Love you. God loves you way more. Peace.